Hello and welcome to Sports This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omogbe.
And I am Tayo Salam. Many thanks for joining us again.
All right, we start off with the Super Eagles of Nigeria this morning. They intensified training for the game against Liberia coming up this weekend. About 21 players trained last night and just 3 players expected to join them today.
All right, so Super Eagles have started preparations in earnest for the World Cup qualifier against the Lone Star of Liberia on Saturday. Also on Sports This Morning, this time around, women's football, where the Angels, as Rivers Angels, are still alive, surprisingly, in Group D of the CAF Women's Champions League, despite losing the first 2 games. The second game was against Sundowns of South Africa. They lost by a lone goal, but they still got a slim chance, a mathematical chance of advancing into the semi-finals. We're going to be doing all of the calculations and permutations on the show.
It's a whole lot for Rivers Angels. We'll just see what's going to happen on Friday when they play their last group game, and hopefully their opponents, will help them to progress to the Final Four. Also on the program, we'll talk the NBA, and finally Milwaukee Bucks pick up a much needed victory, and it was against Philadelphia 76ers. Of course, that's another depleted team. 118 and 105.
Indeed, so fantastic victory for the Milwaukee Bucks. Just a second in 7 for the defending champions. So that's what we're going to start off the show from. NBA games played this morning. In America, we have all of the results for you, all of the updates for you, and let's just go straight into it, Cecilia.
Obviously,
let's not waste.
3 games played last night, and there you have early hours today. The Bucks and the 76ers 118-1, and of course that's our star match for the day. You know the reason why? Because Giannis are scoring 31 points in that, because they haven't been winning since. As I mentioned, just 2 in 7 games.
All right, also winning on the night is the Utah Jazz at 110-98 over the Atlanta Hawks. Donovan Mitchell with 27 points in that victory as the Jazz beats ATL for the second time in 5 days. Last but not the least, the Clippers are in action against the Portland Trail Blazers and at 117-109 in favor of LA. Paul George leading the way with 24 points in that victory as they extended the winning streak to 5.
And of course, not only that, for Portland Trail Blazers, they're yet to win on the road this season.
It's been a slow start.
5 road games, they haven't won anyone.
Yeah, very slow start for Portland and the new coach as well. And we'll see, it's still so many games to play. Still a lot of time for them to pick up and start winning on the road. So let's go to our feature game. The Bucks and the 76ers. Cecilia, like I said, 2 short-handed sides. For the Bucks, they're still missing Brook Lopez and Chris Middleton and Dante are still missing as well. So while for the 76ers is missing, what's his name again now?
Joel Embiid
is still
Tobias
missing.
Harris, and 4 other players sidelined
due to health.
Seth Curry nursing a left foot contusion. So
that's the definition of a short-handed side right there. So the game had to go on, and it was Giannis leading the Bucks to that victory with 31 points and 16 rebounds. The Bucks also got 25 points from Grayson Allen and a key 3-pointer late in the 4th quarter. Bobby Portis added 19 points for the NBA defending champions a day after celebrating their first title in 50 years with a trip to the White House to visit President Joe Biden. Shemi Ojeleye now plays for the Bucks. Added 11 points off the bench, while Jordan Nwora also scored 8 off the bench for the champs. Like I said, it's just the second victory in 7 games. Obviously, Giannis is a very delighted man this morning. Just glad they're able to get a win, regardless of how they've done it. Let's take a listen to him now.
Win is a win. Try to build some momentum here. Try to keep playing good basketball, keep defending better. Did a good job in the 4th quarter, good job in the 2nd quarter, defending, rebounding the ball, boxing out, move the ball, find an open guy. So we did some good things tonight. I would just try to be competitive. Just try to do whatever it takes to get a win. Even though if the stop or the block or the a play or a pass, just do whatever it takes to get a win. That's what my team wants me to do. That's what team needs me to do. So that's why I showed a little bit of emotion. It's a good game. It was a good game for both sides. I think Philly played well. We played well, defended well, and I just wanted us to get a win.
Cecilia,
No matter how it
just
is,
wanted us to get a win.
Because
Wow.
you check, I mean, the 76ers they stayed in the game until the closing minutes of it. At the point, they were leading as much as 13 points in the second quarter. Entering the fourth quarter, they were 93 and 91 up. But then the Bucks, having more firepower, so to speak, were able to nick that much-needed victory over the 76ers.
Indeed, the Bucks are not as short-handed as the 76ers were missing 4 players. So
4 key players. I mean,
key
just
players,
imagine
not just
having
any
Seth
players.
Curry, Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris. I mean, these are all top players that you don't want to play a game without.
At the same time. And in the absence, it was Tyrese Maxey.
Got
with
39 points.
31 points in that victory.
That was huge.
In that loss, right?
Andre Drummond also contributed 17 points and 20 rebounds.
Oops.
That was good, but then
Wasn't enough.
wasn't enough.
Let's take a look at the top performers, standout players for their teams in the NBA games played. Of course, Giannis, with 31 points, 16 rebounds, and 4 assists. And last but not the least is Maxey, our guy, Tyrese, 31 points.
You see that face you're making when
Yeah.
you've done everything you can.
And you still end up on the
and you
losing
end up
side.
on the losing side.
These things happen.
Yeah.
Okay, let's come back home now, Cecilia.
Talk about the Super League. Okay.
Before the Super Eagles up, the chess
the
Open.
Chess Open Championship, yes,
The
because
Blitz winner. While we
Blitz
wait
winner.
for the championship winner, the
Yeah.
overall championship
Yeah.
winner, there's a Blitz winner which we tried to listen to yesterday. For whatever reason, this guy's
it
sat
just
there.
didn't happen. We didn't get to it.
Didn't
Take it
happen.
now. This is him right here,
Yeah,
receiving
Odion
that trophy.
Haikoje. Yeah, good. He was in the studio, like I said, a few weeks ago, and very modest player.
Yeah.
And he's already showed his hands. Now that he's won the Blitz events, the other guys are not going to underestimate him because I was trying to make it look like they have not played for a while and maybe rusty, blah, blah. But you go on and win the Blitz events, which is a very, very tricky competition.
Because it's open to everyone. I mean, very competitive.
And all the best players are
the
worth
best
it.
players, yeah.
So, anyways, he's a delighted man as well to have
Yeah.
won this competition, and is looking forward to perhaps emerging overall winner of the championships by the end of the week. Let's take a listen now to Odion Haikoje.
Well, it was, how will I say it? It was a bit lucky. No, I'm not just being modest. When I say lucky, because I started really badly. I lost I lost pace over the first couple of games. The very first game was a draw. The second game, I lost. So I was on 1.5 points from 3. And at that point, I was probably in position number 17 or so out of 36. But I somehow hit a rich vein of form, and the next 8 games, 8 straight wins, that took me all the way to the top. So yeah, it was a good performance. I think I was able to overcome my initial shaky start.
Shaky start. It's not, I mean, you can start on a bad note, but finishing strong.
That's what
it's
is important.
It matters, and that's exactly what he's done there. The chess championship is going on right now. The Orchid Chess Club, Cecilia and Osei, just stick with us for all of the updates concerning that competition. Cecilia, chess players never had it this good.
Of course.
In a long,
In a
I don't think
long
ever,
while.
as a matter of fact, ever, because I worked there and I saw how these guys
We're
being
excited.
very excited.
I remember during the COVID when they had the one for the children also.
Yeah.
I mean, where you have, no matter, I mean, they were not much, but then the excitement they had, trying
Cecilia,
to...
things have changed now, because I was speaking to one of the organizers and said the kids swarmed the whole place. They, as a matter of fact, they had a lot to
Many.
deal with, and they're going to have a lot to deal with today as well, too, because they're kind of free at the moment. It is great overall to see. And we heard from the minister's rep as well, too, yesterday, Miriam Yali, talking about how the federation, starting on a good note, this new dispensation, working closely with the private sector to bring about this first, I think it's the first championship for chess, the proper one, first proper one for chess players. A lot of players, actually, the top 10 players in the men and the women category are being lodged right there at the hotel very close to the venue of the competition.
I mean they've never had it so
never
good.
had it
Yes,
so
they've been
good.
having a whole lot before now, but this one, the way it's been
different.
organized and in partnership with private sector and using not just the national stadium that they usually do in the open venue, but they had to use a chess club. So that tells you how this federation is trying to be very serious with the sport, and those who are fortunate to be playing it will obviously enjoy every bit of it.
It's not business as usual.
No,
for
not
chess
at all. Yes,
in the country.
it's getting well.
Going forward. All right, so we will be coming back tomorrow definitely to give you updates on the competition. Let's go to the Super Eagles camp now, Cecilia, and let's get updates from there. We're waiting for hopefully
the media officer Raji will be able to join us, to just give us more updates on this. While we're waiting for him, quickly, let's just reel out the names of the players that trained last night. Their first training session. Earlier in the morning, they had their gym session. The 21 players were there. But then later in the evening, you had 21 players that trained. Maduka Okoye, who's just joined Watford, arrived camp early. Daniel Akmen is also there. Paul Onuachu, William Trustek online. You had Kevin Akpoguma, Wilfred Ndede, Jamilu Collins, Alex Iwobi, Chidera Ejuke, also part of the players that trained
last night. Also Frank Oyeka,
Kelechi Yenachoya,
Ahmed Musa, Chidozie Wazim, Samuel Chikweze, Kenneth Omeru, Moses Simon, Saidu Sanusi, Shehu Abdullahi, Leon Balogun, and Joe Aribo. So those are 21 players in camp for yesterday's training for the game against Liberia on Saturday. The likes of Odion Igalo, Victor Osimhen have been expected in camp today. We've seen pictures from the gym session. First thing yesterday morning, of course, got to loosen up, got to warm up properly before he hit the field. And that's why we're saying all of this, guys. You can see Getnero in that picture as well. So, and that's the man of the moment, Maduka Okoye, who's going to become the first, hopefully, if Watford stay in the Premier League, the first Nigerian goalkeeper to feature in the top flights in England. That's the Premier League, to be precise. A few years ago, a long time ago, Vincent was so close to joining Bolton, or what team was that?
It didn't happen. Bolton or Everton or something.
I think it was Bolton.
And it didn't happen. It was so painful for me when it didn't happen. But right now, there's this one. So Claudio Ranieri, you just have to allow Watford to stay in.
They've got a good chance of staying.
Yes,
they're
really good.
Quite a number of bad teams in that league. Newcastle, Norwich. Worcester again.
We should go down. Brentford can join. They started losing. After beating Arsenal and some other teams join against Liverpool.
Leeds United
also struggling. Southampton have been able to get back into it, but then Burnley, another team you also look at. Well, let's see how it all pounds out. But Super Eagles is training. This is the first training session which has started, and of course.
And eventually they went on the pitch, and I was saying that's a Chidozie Awazin right there, pinging the ball from back to front. I can't see who that guy is all the way there. But then the story is training has started in earnest for the game against Liberia. Hopefully it all goes smoothly and there's no injuries. And by Saturday, these guys are ready to take down the Lone Stars of Liberia. We need to go on a break now. When we come back, we're going to be listening to the coach of the team, Cecilia, again at Raw.
All right, welcome back. Super Eagles of Nigeria's coach talking about Gennett Rowe, giving us updates on what's happening in the camp. Well, we talked about earlier that we will be speaking with Babafemi Raji, that's the media officer for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, to give us updates what's currently going on in camp, how many players we have, if it's still 21, and the likes of Odion Igalo and Victor Osimhen are the players being expected, and also John Noble, he will be coming in on Thursday. So these are the players that are still being expected, about 23 players, that will be, playing against 24 against the Lone Star of Liberia on Saturday. Femi, good morning. It's good to have you join us.
Good morning, Cecilia. How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. And how are you?
I'm good. We're having breakfast right now. I just met up with you outside the dining room.
Okay, all right. So we're going to have you shortly. So tell us, what's the updates coming from Super Eagles camp quickly?
Okay, Osimhen is in camp right now. So we've got 2 players. Later today we expect the arrival of Ojonjo Digalo, and then by tomorrow we will have John Noble to make it 24. After breakfast, we'll have a fitness session at 10:30 and team meeting at 12:15 before we have lunch at 1. Then by 5 p.m., we'll have another training session at the training pitch of the Grand Tangier Stadium.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, you just mentioned Victor Osimhen has joined the players, so that it simply means we have 22 players right now in camp. Do we, the training yesterday, do we have any knocks, any worry at all ahead of the game against Liberia?
No, no knocks, no worries. It was a wonderful training session and highly impressive. Like the coaches were also impressed with it. Aside the regular training, there were shooting sessions as well. It was really a very wonderful, interesting session that to me felt like a normal match game situation. But it means the players are all ready for this. They are positive in terms of their mindset. All they want to do is take on Liberia on Saturday, get all 3 points, and then we return immediately for the final game against Cape Verde on Tuesday, next week.
Okay, hopefully we'll be able to get all 3 points come Saturday. Femi Raji, thank you so much for talking to us this morning. Hopefully on Friday before the game, we'll be able to talk to you again.
Thank you very much. Sincerely.
All right, that's Baba Femi Raji, the media officer of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, giving us updates from Tangier in Morocco, where the game will be played against Liberia. Okay, now we're 3 in the studio right now. I mean, Demola Ogumbono has joined us on the program. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, Sisi. I'm very well, thank you. Good morning, Tayo. Good to be back here again and doing sport with you guys. Indeed.
Quick one on the Super Eagles. Not much to say. They've trained. First one. You know, it's going to get more intense in the next coming days for this game against Liberia.
It is. It's good to note that the numbers in camp have swelled. Osimhen, you know, back in the squad as well. Daniel Igalo yet to be in. So much left to be said about that, you know. The less said, the better. But we're expecting a very good match against Liberia. Remember, they are playing away from their own turf, so it's going to be a neutral ground for us as well. So we expect that it's going to be tough, but we need maximum points, and we need to get maximum points.
I think we'll get maximum points. The players have shown a lot of seriousness just by, you know, the manner in which they've come to camp. No one is, trying to waste too much time. Everyone is in camp pretty much, apart from those 2 players. Anyway, so that's it for the Super Eagles camp for today. Tomorrow, more updates, so you can join us on the show. Let's go to Egypt now and talk about the Rivers Angels, Nigeria's representatives in the first edition of the CAF Women's Champions League. They were in action in the second Group B game against Mamelodi Sundowns of South Africa. Unfortunately, that game ended in a loss for Rivers Angels. We're about to see the goal conceded by Rivers Angels. A bit, Cecilia, I've watched this over and over again, and I can't really say if it crossed the line, but the referee said it did. It crossed the line, and that's how the Angels went down by a lone goal. Cecilia and Ademola, 2 games, 2 losses, no goals scored, 4 conceded. It's not a great start by any
absolutely not, Tyler. Absolutely not. But you have to feel for these girls. I think those in charge of these girls, I don't know what happened, but we learned that it was on Sunday. That was after their game on Saturday that they had their first training session. They got to come. They got to their destination just a day, before their game in hand. No time to train. I mean, it shows, and that was why they conceded 3 goals to
Asfar.
Asfar. Where the what's her name again? Mutsudi scored a hat-trick. We expect that when they played against Sundowns, it was going to be a much different outcome. They missed so many chances, no doubt. They put their best foot forward. They're able to train on Sunday before the match, but sad to see that they lost again, and it made things a lot more difficult for the girls. there's still slight chance of them, still going
alive.
through. It's sad that we have to bring calculators
good
out
is
again.
your mathematics and permutation? Not me. No, don't bring that to me. I'm not the best at that. So we'll just pass it on to our game.
Okay, maybe we'll look at the result first, then we'll look at the table and see how it is. Now, this is how it all went down because Vihiga Queens of Kenya won their game against Asfa Club. And so Vihiga Queens got 3 points. Asfa got 3 points because it beat Rivers Angels 3-0. Of course, they've scored 2 goals, but then they've won the 2 games. They don't care. Just a win is a win. A long goal is enough. Like controversial or not, but they've got 6 points at the end of the day. Vihiga Queens, as I mentioned, got 3 points plus 1 goal difference. And just take a look at Rivers Angels, -4 because they haven't scored any, but then they've conceded more. They've lost two games. Yeah, so that's what it's looking like for Rivers Angels, having lost 2 games. So no point at all. So your calculator now, your mathematics, let me see how good it is, how many goals they need to score to be able to get in, and also praying and hoping that Sundowns were able to beat Asfa, which is going to be the last group game. And of course, they will be playing against Vihiga Queens.
So first things first, right? Ademola, Rivers Angels, they've got to beat Vihiga Queens in their last game to get 3 points at least, right? So that would mean, okay, then Sundowns and...
Tyre, you're just trying to make my job difficult here.
No, I'm trying to simplify it for you as a matter of fact.
Okay, make it simple.
I hate to say this, but in as much as we have a chance, I think it's really difficult.
It's really slim.
I'm not trying to bust our bubbles here, but Rivers played
they played
Vihiga next.
So they've got to win that one.
Vihiga defeated Asfa.
Yeah.
And
2 goals.
We were defeated by Asfa by 3 goals.
Yeah.
Now we're playing Vihiga next, and they know that if they get a point or thereabout, they will qualify. It's enough for them. So it makes things a whole lot difficult. It's good that the group is thrown wide open. If we get that win and we win by a 5-goal margin,
we'll go through. That's what I'm saying. Because if you check the squad, I love the fact that Edwin Okon drafted some players.
Yes.
The players who went to under 20 before.
Yes.
He brought Abiodun Deborah, who a fantastic midfielder. He also brought in Demehi Tosin, who happens to be the captain. So she's also, but she brought his brother Umran Rafiat also coming in. I'm just trying to check now how many goals they will have in their kitty, where it's going to come from. You have Monday Gift. I haven't seen any. They trained first, on Sunday because they haven't had time to train, and then they played this game on Tuesday. So now they have Wednesday, Thursday to prepare for their last group game against Vihiga Queens. Hopefully they can gel together because some of these players that he brought in were not with the team for a while. And of course we know after the pre-season tournament, the Betsy Obaseki's football tournament in Benin, they didn't play any other game.
My fear
so they were just having the usual training.
My fear is, where are we going to see the goals coming from?
I just mentioned some players who've been drafted in. I mentioned Monday Gift is also part of the squad.
Monday Gift, a fantastic footballer.
We have Ikechukwu Vivian. She's got some goals. And then, okay.
So you guys, before you guys even start talking about these calculations and permutations, Mamelodi Sundowns will play their last game against Asfa. We know Sundowns have already qualified, so who knows the kind of team they'll put out in that game, because Asfa have got 3 points. If they win against Mamelodi Sundowns, then no matter the mathematics that you do, there won't be any need for it.
That's what I mentioned earlier, that Sundowns needs to, even if it's just half goal that they've been doing, no matter how controversial it is, try and beat Asfa.
They don't need to win that game.
Asfa will remain on 3 points. No, just solidify your position.
They don't need to. They qualified already.
And then we'll beat...
if Sundowns can do us that favor.
We beat Vihiga Queens. Vihiga Queens by as much as 5 goals, or even
which
4.
is very unlikely.
Very unlikely.
Yeah,
very unlikely.
Let's keep it
so
a
we will qualify,
Okay.
But,
let's hear from the coach of the team now, Edwin Okon, what he has to say about that game and the manner in which they lost against Mamelodi Sundowns. Edwin Okon says it was a good game, but not from our side. As very interesting, we created many chances, but did not score. But the goal we considered is what makes me very unhappy. This defeat breaks my heart as a coach. Of course, heartbreaking loss.
Yeah, it is.
But they still got a very slim chance of qualifying for the semi-finals of the CAF Women's Champions
Come on, Rivers Angels, you can do 5 goals. Even if you have to not qualify, should Asfa beat Mamelodi Sundowns, then you can come back home.
You have to be
pride.
the most optimistic
yes,
person
I am.
I know right now. Anyway, so that's it for the CAF Women's Champions League. Cecilia, let's quickly come back home. I'll talk a bit of weights lifting, one of those sports where you think Nigeria should be dominating. at the world stage.
Yeah, they've been sleeping for a while, and of course they're trying to wake up now with new federation coming on board, and so they're trying to actually wake up and see how they can continue to dominate at the world stage. Right now, they have about 7 players in camp preparing for that World Cup. The World Championships that will be taking place in Uzbekistan. That's in December. With 7 players in camp. The president, Ibrahim Abdul, has been talking about the things they need to do to ensure that Nigeria will start competing again at the international stage and also qualifying athletes for the Commonwealth Games.
It's not about the quantity, it's about the quality of the people we have in camp. It's about going there to make a headway. We are not going for jamborees. These are people who are already made either number 1 in Africa in their category, or people who from the record are medal hopeful. So this is what we want to do now. Those ones who are very sure of them, the 7 of them are people we believe are top in their category. And then there are other qualifiers that might come. They will also expose the other athletes. But for now, we want to keep it 7. And Uzbekistan is a very far place. So there's also an economic aspect to it also. And so these are the things we are looking at. This was informed our decision. What we are doing now, we are projecting the sports. You see, first of all, once people believe in your vision, they are willing to key in. We are collaborating with a lot of stakeholders, people, the military and paramilitary. Already we are having a championship on the 8th of this month in Abuja, IGP, that's the police championship. In January, we want to have the Chief of Army Staff championship, where so many of the divisions and all other paramilitary will key in. So you see, when we do that, people can trust us, and then they will be willing to trust us with their funds. It's about collaboration with the private sector.
Yeah, it's all about partnership with a private sector and see how they can really grow the sports, not just at grassroots level, also contributing majorly at the elite level. I mean, Tayo, you were mentioning that you can't remember the last time, Nigeria was on the podium. Was maybe, competing.
We're talking podium.
We're talking about competing. Just Nigerian weightlifters in a particular country, preparing for major tournaments and everything. It's been a while. And so he's trying to see if he can resurrect that.
But to be fair, I think the Wrestling Federation have been doing well. I mean, whenever we go for tournaments, for competitions.
That's wrestling.
Wrestling.
Weightlifting.
Yeah. Even the Paralympics as well, they do so
well. The powerlifters are different.
Come on.
The weightlifters, they have been sleeping.
Now they've been sleeping.
They have been. But it's good to know they're putting things in plans now. They're putting things in place to make sure that we go back to where we used to be, and hopefully good things will come out of all this their preparations.
Indeed, because weightlifting, wrestling, like you mentioned, and of course wrestling's got there's techniques involved in all of these things, but they're majorly strength sports. There's no reason why Nigeria should not be competing with the very best in the world if they can't get the basics right.
If you're talking about weightlifting, boxing, they're already crying. Okay.
Anyway, let's get on from weightlifting.
Let's talk about another sport that should be giving us so many medals. Swimming is another sport. Yes, they have a new president also at the helm of affairs. But then Chinoye Dafioli, she's been talking about the fact that, look, we've been able to grow the sport at grassroots level. But how do you take it up from there? Is a major thing. Other sports festival, we saw Delta State, we saw Bayelsa, we saw Edo, we saw Lagos. I mean, the dominant that they have. We saw a swimmer winning as much as 13 medals. I think 8 of those medals were actually gold from Bayelsa. And the question I asked them at that time was, okay, what are your dreams? She said, I'm just collecting money and and go.
So a lot of
I'm like,
guys,
so you don't have dreams of Olympics? She said no. She said because we don't even do trials. We don't even know when they pick players for Olympics. We don't even know when they pick players for Commonwealth Games. So their dream is just to compete, and that's it. Ends there.
Nigeria's best swimmers at this minute are not in the country. Habibat, and there's another guy who also was supposed to go to the Olympics, but for whatever reason couldn't make it. Those two are not in the country. So, but for the home-based swimmers, it's very sad. It's a sad reflection of the state of things.
But
They're not even aspiring to go to major
we have a
competition.
federation,
Because, yeah,
don't
and
we?
that's why we have a new one
It
now.
is a
Who
new
has been talking
federation
yeah,
now.
mhm.
Yeah.
So there's a new one. You know what? Let's listen to her. When we finish listening to her, then you can, share your thoughts.
Because for the first time, FINA, that's the world governing body, has admitted Nigerians into their high performance centers in Kazan, Russia. So we have 3 persons there. 2 are there now, 1 is joining in December. So I am sure, by the grace of God, that they will now get that required training. And then we have one foreign based in America that represented us in African, and he's also, training even with the Australians as South Africans. So we are sure by the grace of God that even in Commonwealth Olympics we will make a good showing. I'm from Delta State, and I was chairman for 8 years. And I used to feel, why is it like this? But in Delta State, we do a lot of things that other people are not doing. The children, we have a center, I will call it a swimming stretch. The children go to school in the morning, they swim in the afternoon. Weekends, they swim from morning, all day. So we have a continuous training program. It's just that level of stepping up. But like you said, at the grassroots, what are we doing? So we're now going to we're going to start doing local government championship, state championship, zonal championships, and we even want to do things like open water. What is Arugungu Festival doing without swimming when they have open water? So those are the areas we are going to exploit. Like I said, I was chairman for a long time, and I was seeing the development of these things, and I thought it could be better. If we do more championships, at least they have something to aspire to look up to. Even these paramilitaries, they also they do come for only Chief of Naval Staff. So we want to even encourage them to do their own, not just Chief of Naval Staff. Police should do championship because they do very well. So we are going to encourage all of them to be doing, and we will just be in charge, we will supervise, we will bring the people to, officiate and so on. So, like you said in my tenure, I want to do a lot of things. I don't want to wait for second tenure. This first tenure, let us do all these things that I've been dreaming that it could be better.
Obviously, it can be better. I mean, Demola, you heard her.
I am really impressed by what honestly I am, because I was beginning to wonder, those that were there before, I mean, we have a federation unit, what were they doing? But she seems very, very experienced. She knows what she's doing, and she seems very capable of someone who is going to take swimming to the next level in Nigeria. So we can only hope for better things, from her. But from what she has said, I think I'm really, really impressed, and I hope that she can put our money where our mouth is, going forward.
That's what is important, and also they can also have more sponsorship, which is really important for more athletes to be able to compete at international level, not just staying at the local level. We need to go on a break. When we come back, there's still so much more on sports this morning.
Anyways,
so
all the best to Xavi Hernandez as he starts his tenure as the coach of FC Barcelona. Before we look at the papers, quickly let's just spare a thought for our guy, Dr. Marcus Rashford, who's now got an MBE for his efforts in campaigning against child food poverty. He received the MBE from the Duke of Cambridge, that's the Prince at Windsor Castle, and went ahead to dedicate it to his mother, who was in attendance to watch the ceremony. Let's take a listen to Marcus Rashford reacting to his new or latest award. That's a member of the Order of the British Empire.
Yeah, it's obviously a great feeling. When I was a kid, I never really, it wasn't something that I dreamt about. It wasn't something that feels achievable. But you know, I've obviously been trying to spread positive messages to young kids, and me receiving this today is another message for them, because I think now they can see even things that you don't think are achievable are achievable. So yeah, this is a good day for me and my family.
Marcus Rashford not winning on the pitch at the moment, but getting a lot of wins off the pitch. Congratulations once again to the Manchester United forward. Let's take a look at the papers now before we close the show. Starting with Sporting Life. Osimhen's arrival swells Eagles camp to 22. So that's it. Igalo is also expected today, while Noble is expected on Thursday. Pogba out for 10 weeks with thigh injury. Massive injury blow for France and Manchester United. Messi returns to Barca in 2023 as what and what capacity? She'll grab a copy of Sporting Life. Atletico preparing to reignite interest in Lacazette. It's very interesting as well. Madrid join Manchester United. Liverpool in race to sign Neves as a player from Wolves. And there's a story, very interesting one here concerning Israel Adesanya wants revenge against Pereira. That was the guy that beat him when in their kickboxing days. Pereira is now signed for the UFC, won his first bout over the weekend, and hopefully their paths will cross before it's all said and done.
All right, let me move straight to Complete Sport here, and you have the story from Maduka Okoye. It says, Watford bought me as #1. Okay, our praise and hopes Hornets stay up in the Premier League. Yeah, we're joining in that praise.
Yes,
and Igalo named a player, named best player in West Asia for October. And Mutiu Adekboju here is saying Raw knows why he invited Oduingalo. So those of you questioning,
you better know.
You better know. Napoli wants more protection for Victor Osimhen. Hopefully he gets more protection. Yeah. Okay, and Raw here's wonderful conditions in Tangier. Yeah, what's cost? Okay, the last one we have is Sporting Sun. And Sporting Sun, yeah, Igalo Osimhen hit Eagles camp today. Osimhen is already in camp. Concedes #9 shirt. Okay. Let's see who's going to wear that #9. Will it be
Igalo? Just said he's considered it.
#9, but
he's considered it to Osimhen, so Osimhen can have it.
Can have it, so he will just wear anyone. Since Osimhen is the new kid and he's the old block, right?
And it will be very interesting to see if they're going to be starting together or Igalo is going to be biding his time on the bench, right? They can't play together, can they?
Well, let's watch and see what the coach Raw, gets to do when we play Liberia.
I like that. Messi may return to Barcelona in 2023.
That's what?
Okay. Pogba suffers out until 2022. Okay. Rashford is also here. Ramos finally begins training with PSG. Okay. And Xavi sacks 2 Barcelona physios. Okay.
Making his presence felt already.
All time.
All right. Demola Ogumbono, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate your time. Thank you. Thank you all for watching as well. Enjoy the rest of your day. I am Tayo Salam.
I'm Cecilia Mogbe. See you tomorrow.